Hello, everybody. Thanks for yet another episode with our ongoing efforts to interview the team at Bachmann. Today, I'm really excited. I get to interview Matt Morin. Matt Morin is oversees our execution team and does a darn fine job of it. Very excited. We consistently get high marks in our project management, and I would say that it's attributed to Matt and his team. So, Matt, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, no problem. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Over Zoom anyhow, but at least we're having some interaction. It
Yeah.
is kind of strange these days, but we're getting through it. Hey, so give us a little bit background. How long have you been with Bachman?
So I've been with Bachman for 14 years now. I started 2006, coming right out of college. Started in our engineering department. Didn't really enjoy it because I hated sitting in front of a computer for a long time.
Uh,
So I ended up moving to our field service department and did field service in China for 6 months in 2017. I was doing shop support there. And then I went from hating sitting in front of a computer to hating not seeing my house for weeks and months on end. So I ended up coming back into the engineering department in late 2007, and then moved into sales, and then ran our aftermarket group for a little while until I started as the manager of projects.
Awesome. So, talking about the present job, what are some of your most favorite things about overseeing the execution team?
I think from it, I like problem solving and helping people, and that is basically my job on a day.
That's what you do.
Problem solving and helping people. So whether it's internal guys helping to kind of steer projects in the right direction, making sure that we're touching base with customers and making sure that projects are meeting timelines, to helping the team generate unique solutions to customers' problems. That has always been what I've enjoyed about this job from the beginning.
Good. Well, and I kind of alluded to this at the beginning. We do receive high marks consistently for project management, which is great, and we think that that's definitely a selling point that we have for our products. So, what's our philosophy for execution? What kind of what kind of governs that?
It comes back to our core values at the end of the day, and being open and honest with customers. As we don't shy away from wanting to communicate with customers at the end of the day. We know that as a project manager, we are the communication line between Bachmann and our customers, Bachmann and our fabricators. So we're always there trying to push, making sure that we're telling the customers exactly what's going on, making sure that they know where their project is at the end of the day, what's going on, what needs to happen, what hasn't happened on their side that's holding us up. I mean, those are some of the hardest conversations to have at the end of the day, is when we get to a point where, okay, we've gone through an engineering cycle that when we first sat down and looked at the project was going to take 4 to 6 weeks, and we're now 8, 10, 12 weeks into an engineering cycle, and we've chewed up all of our float in the project, and we're now right up against having to put projects into engineering so that Matt and his team can be able to get a fab package out to a supplier so that we can meet a timeline. And just making sure that we're communicating the entire time is priority number one.
Yeah. Uh, so maybe we can take a step back. Can you walk us through maybe what happens from the time that we receive an order and till the moment the customer receives their material?
Yeah. So once we get a purchase order in-house, the sales team sets up what we call a kickoff meeting. which is basically the download of the entire sales process to the project execution team, and gives us the information that we need to be able to start the project. It gives us what the initial concept is, gives us the initial budget, timeline, if there's been any discussions with fabricators and stuff like that, so that our team has a baseline level of saying, okay, these were the discussions that were had during the sales phase. And from there, we start initial engineering. Matt's team works diligently to put together general arrangement drawings, which outlines the scope of the project, what we are providing to the customer. My team will put together an initial project schedule, which basically lays out the major milestones that will happen during the project, when we're going to get GA drawings to the customer, when we're going to get the documents to the customer in regards to any document requirements that they need, lays out the fabrication timeline, lays out the engineering timeline. So we'll do that. We'll get customer approvals. Once we get customer approvals, we go into the actual detailed engineering portion of the project and the procurement of free issue items. So Bachmann uses the outsourcing model, as you know, to manufacture all of our equipment. So we have strategic fabricators around the world that we work with. We're always trying to add to that portfolio. So anybody who's listening to this, if they know people, they have good contacts with fabricators, we're looking for fabricators all the time. So shoot them over to us. We're glad to shake the trees, see what we can get out of it. And maybe there's a strategic partnership just sitting out there that one of these guys know about. So
absolutely.
We'll after my shameless plug of looking for more fabricators, I guess, we can finish. So the team will push the project through execution, through fabrication. We'll get fab packages to sub-suppliers. We work to make sure that they have all the free issue items that they need from our side. We'll support quality checks. If the quality team or the field service team don't have the capacity to be able to do a shop check, then we'll go up and we'll do shop checks to make sure quality is right, make sure that we're on time in regards to schedule, and then we'll support the factory acceptance tests, make sure everything's per the expectations of the client. Then we'll work with them to ship the equipment, whether we ship it using our expertise or using the customer's logistics department. We help them all the way through.
Wow, there's a lot that goes on. So, and invariably, I mean, there are things that are going to go wrong from time to time. What are some of the things that we've done to get a project back on schedule that somehow has gone awry?
So we've done a lot of things. The most drastic thing I think we've done is we've actually pulled scope from one supplier and put it out a different supplier to be able to make sure that we meet schedule and meet expectations. We actually have a order with a customer in Mexico now that we had to do that to meet an expedited schedule. They had placed a purchase order for us for some base scope, and they came back like a week later saying, hey, in addition to that, we want, I think it was 6 additional expansion joints for this project. And if you can meet the timeline, we can make sure that we can get you the order. So we basically went to multiple different suppliers and said, okay, if I give you this scope and give supplier B this scope, can we meet this deadline? And ultimately, we have 2 different suppliers working on the project, and we're balancing, making sure that the quality is the same between the two suppliers, making sure that the ending product looks exactly the same to the end user. So, I mean, that's the most drastic thing that we've done. But we've had project managers camp out at fabrication facilities expediting projects to make sure that we meet timelines and stuff like that.
Yeah, certainly not ideal, but we will go to whatever lengths we have to assure customer satisfaction.
Yeah, in this remote world, it's much easier now than it was, but
That's true.
it is
That's
not an
true.
ideal situation, but it does work.
Yeah. Well, hey, Matt, I appreciate the time that you took today to fill us in on what goes on with the project management team, and keep doing what you guys are doing. It's great. Appreciate
Great.
it.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate the talk.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
All right, see ya.